Do you think the word Mexican is offensive, like a pejorative or bad word to call somebody? The reason I ask this is sometimes people kind of say this term, like say the word Mexican, and sometimes it seems to have a bit of a like negative connotation to it for some reason. I think that if like you call someone a Mexican, people might take offense to it. Me personally, at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything negative about the word at all. It's a nationality. People use it as a racial categorization as well, but ultimately it's just a nationality. Anyone can be Mexican. You just have to be born in Mexico. Um, there's white Mexicans, there's, indigenous Mexicans, mestizo Mexicans, there's even black Mexicans. Some people are surprised to hear about that, but, there are some black Mexicans. I remember seeing an episode of The Office one time, and on the TV show, there's a character whose name is Oscar, and he is Mexican on the show, but in real life, I think he's Cuban. But he plays a Mexican person on the show, and like his supervisor had said, what other term can I call you? Because I don't want to call you Mexican, because I guess that's offensive. And he was like, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I am Mexican. You're like, but what term? What other? Like, what can I call you? And I just thought that was it's, pretty much it is. It speaks to the issue that I'm talking about as far as like, okay, is it offensive to call somebody Mexican? As well, I remember my Spanish teacher who's from Mexico. I believe she's a mestizo, and well, a mestiza, and she was talking about something about um, people as far as like being Mexican and how people identify. And she said something that kind of struck a chord with me was that you know they were referring to this one person in particular as a Mexican national versus just Mexican, which to me, I guess, is like you, I guess he didn't fit the qualifications to be considered Mexican. So they're like, okay, you were born in Mexico, but you're not really Mexican, which is odd. Um, and she also mentioned something about somebody saying that she's awfully proud to be a Mexican, or um, to the extent of like you're really prideful to be a Mexican, in the sense of like she doesn't have anything to be prideful about. So why is she prideful? Kind of like that. And I was like, wow, that is really offensive to say something like that to somebody. But that's a whole nother video though. So what do you think? Do you think it's offensive to call somebody Mexican if they are Mexican or if they're not Mexican? Do you think there's negativity associated with the word? Terrible. Feel free to leave your comments and your thoughts.